Dear beloved Beacon, we come to share some news with you that has been deeply troubling our heart.
Nearly 5 weeks ago, we issued a statement on the horrific attacks in Israel. In the time between then and now, so many of us here within Beacon and across the United States are experiencing fear, hopelessness, desperation, and horror.
After courageous conversation with one another and with Jewish and Muslim folks in our communities,
and after deep moral discernment as a lead ministry team, we need to speak again in light of the last 5 weeks and the impact within our wider community.
We've been reflecting on that early minister of Beacon, Reverend Doan, who brought the FBI to the door of our church while he spoke out against World War I at a time when it was not popular to do so. While the Board of Trustees acknowledged that they did not agree with his position, they nonetheless defended his right to hold it as an act of conscience. From our very beginnings, Beacon, we have been a congregation who could hold the both and nature of human society, especially in times of great conflict in our world.
this is one of those times. Once again, we feel hold both and.
The attacks by Hamas were a human rights atrocity, an act of terrorism. We name this without equivocation.
Release the hostages.
We cannot be silent in the face of the devastating murder of thousands of Palestinians, many of them children. The human rights crisis in Gaza must be remedied immediately. We call for a ceasefire, but more than this, we call on world leaders to enable humanitarian aid to Gaza and the West Bank. We demand that all hostages must be released and that their release be made a priority. We beseech the Israeli government to reestablish access to water and electricity and other essential life-saving resources.
What is also true and very real is the dramatic rise across New Jersey in anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, racism, and the many tentacles of white supremacy. Just as we can clearly uphold the inherent worth and dignity of every person and the right of all humanity to live in peace, we also know attacks of hate on any group of people are inextricably connected to the dehumanization of all people.
We must be beacons in our communities, affirming our collective humanity.
This is the time.
Now is the moment
where we must speak to our shared humanity.
This is the time.
Now is the moment
to demand peace through a non-violent justice that still could save lives in the balance.
This is the time.
Now is the moment
to prioritize all human life.
Those held hostage.
Those pushed from their homes.
Those under the constant threat of bombs and terror.
Those holding to the last threads of safety, as fragile as they may be here in the United States.
We do not believe that violence is the answer, and we believe that every human life matters.
Just like in Reverend Doan's time, we do not expect or even desire complete agreement. Many will have differing points of view, grounded in their own histories, relationships, and knowledge. This is a community of conscience where we can hold the both and. May we do the hard work of discerning and listening, of loving one another enough
to hear our faith emerge in each other's voices and to be unrelenting in our resolve to protect and preserve
our collective humanity as we work toward a peace born of the hard truths, the real justice, and the future all of our children should live to know.